Some people believe that eating healthy means spending a lot of money, but our next guest says not if you know how to do it right.
We welcome the popular food blogger behind 100 Days of Real Food.com, Lisa Leek, with some of her top tips.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Great to have you here. You wrote a blog about this. This is what kind of spurred this segment, because you hear that all the time, don't you?
Absolutely. So my blog is 100 Days of Real Food, and it started with a pledge to eat only real food for 100 days. And the most popular feedback I got was, sounds great, too expensive. So I went on to do another pledge on a very tight budget. I had my readers vote, and for $125 a week, we still managed to stick to our real food plan and do this. So, you know, it's challenging, but it can be done with a little planning.
What do you consider real food?
Well, anything that's not highly processed. So if you're looking at packaged foods, foods that have 5 or less whole ingredients, also all whole grains, that's what we focus on, and we avoid all like refined sweeteners and that sort of thing.
Okay. Very good. All right, so your first point is to set a budget. Be specific about it.
Yes, and I know that sounds really basic, but if you just say, hey, let's not spend a lot of money this month, that doesn't work, because I've tried it. So right here I have some envelopes, and this is, you know, how some people keep track of their budget is with an envelope system. So it's really important to decide, okay, what are we going to spend on groceries? What if we want to go out to eat? What if we have guests over? You know, to figure out how much you're going to spend in each of these categories. And if you put cash in the envelope, when it's gone, it's gone. So that's a great system to use.
And I can imagine you have to really be organized to do this.
Yes, that is very important in planning ahead, which actually leads us into the next tip. Is very important to do this.
Knowing your meals for the week.
Yes, exactly. So sitting down and planning out what you're going to have for dinner each night, and actually I have a chalkboard example here. This is what I do at my house. I write up on the board, which is nice for little ones too, who are inquisitive about what you're going to be eating, but it also helps me have a plan. And this is a free downloadable shopping list template that I have on the blog, and I write out all the items I need to purchase for our meals for the entire week, because those last minute impulse purchases can really add up.
So. You're absolutely right.
Okay, know what you have on hand already, some of your staples, and use that stuff.
Yeah, if this is hiding in the back of your fridge, you probably want to use it pretty quickly. A bag of greens is something that will go fast, so that's, you know, something I'll put at the beginning of my weekly meal plan to make sure it doesn't go to waste, because wasted food is wasted money.
Absolutely,
so
yeah.
That can go a long way.
And I think that's where most of us waste our money, buying produce and not using it before it goes bad.
It's so painful to throw it away at the end of the week, but I mean, it happens to everybody.
Hurts my heart. It hurts my heart every time I have to do that. I don't like it.
I know.
Now, what about making substitutions in recipes?
Absolutely. And so the example I have here are just potatoes. So let's say you're making a recipe and it calls for white potatoes, but you already have a sweet potato, you know, like the soup you were just making. Why not make sweet potato soup? Don't go out and spend money on a different type of potato when you have something you could maybe substitute. So you have to be a little bit experimental sometimes.
Get a little creative.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hesitate to adjust a recipe.
Using what you have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also utilizing really cheap ingredients. So dried beans, these are split peas, and bananas. Like this whole bunch of bananas, these are organic as well, cost less than $2. And I don't know if you guys have ever experimented with freezing bananas. You peel them and freeze them. You can make like a little ice cream treat. I could make a whole, in my slow cooker, I can make a whole batch of refried beans with those pinto beans, and that could be a whole dinner, and that costs $3.29 for all those beans.
Yeah, your grandma could have told you that.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, utilize your cheap ingredients.
Right.
And also making sacrifices is really important as well. So like this glass of water that you could have with dinner is pretty cheap, right?
Right.
But wine or juice or an alternative or soda, you know, is not so cheap. So you have to make some sacrifices. And, you know, back to dessert, it's not a need to have, it is nice to have. So you have to make some sacrifices. And also meat is a really big ticket item. So eating less meat can go a long way as well.
Okay, some vegetarian recipes, yes.
Yeah, like those refried beans.
That's good. That's a good one. You say consult the Dirty Dozen list?
Yes, and I actually have it up here on my iPad. If you just Google Dirty Dozen list, this shows you the top 12 fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticide residue. So since organic is often more expensive, you know, make these your priority list here. And then it also has Clean 15, those that you really can feel comfortable buying when they're not organic.
Right, if you can't go organic all the way, just pick and choose the ones.
Yeah, exactly. It's much better to eat some produce than, you know, if you can't get all organic produce, you can still eat conventional. That's the better way to go. So.
Okay, very good. And check your receipt.
Yeah, this actually is not very popular, this advice with my blog readers, because I've mentioned it before. But basically what you want to do is when you're out shopping, you can be distracted, especially if you have little kids. You want to check your receipt when you get home. Maybe you bought a bag of rice, because this happened to me once. It was so much more expensive than I thought it was, but I was in a hurry and I didn't actually need it that week, so I did return it. And I feel like if you're a loyal customer to a particular store, it's okay to use that policy on occasion and get a few dollars back if you're really desperate. So.
Very good. You can even make healthy choices when you're packing your kids' lunch. I know there's something available on your blog.
Yes, and actually I printed out a copy to show you. This is a 6-week Real Food school lunch meal plan. You get all of this for $9. It's a downloadable item that we have for sale only for 2 weeks. And what you basically get for each week is like the plan of what to pack for your kids for lunch. You get the shopping list, all of the recipes, and everything that you need to send a Real Food healthy school lunch every day.
That'll make you feel good as a mom.
You want to take this copy home?
I would love to. Thank you, Lisa. I would love to. I love your website so much. Your blog, 100daysofrealfood.com, 100daysofrealfood.com. Thank you so much, Lisa Leak.
Thank you again.